Hi, my name is Symon Sanborn, and welcome to the Count to 10 podcast, the 411 on kids and behavior. I am a behavior specialist, but I don't have it all figured out. So please seek the help of your pediatrician or another health professional if you do have serious concerns about a child's behavior. So today's lesson, I wanted to pass on something my principal sent me this week, and it's from Michael Linson, and it's called 11 Reasons Why You Should Never Lose Your Cool. Now, this is directed towards teachers, but we can adapt it to work at home as well. I'll be touching on both ideas as we walk through these steps. Step 1, why it's not okay to lose your cool. It sabotages rapport. When you lose your cool, you're undoing weeks or even months of fruitful rapport building with your students. In an instant, you can go from likable and influential to somebody your students prefer to keep at arm's length. We don't want that. This may not be so as a parent, but you do want to be that person that your kids come to when they have an issue. You need to make sure they know they can come to you with anything and that you'll hold yourself together for both of your sakes. Step 2, it weakens your classroom management. This is a big one for teachers, but it can also be for parents. A positive relationship with students gives meaning to your classroom management plan. It supplies the leverage to discuss misbehaviors that happen. If timeout doesn't matter to your students, and it won't if they dislike you, and by extension your classroom, then neither will be effective. I think managing a household can be the exact same way. So it's much easier to manage things when you do it in a positive way. Use a good tone of voice, be direct, and when in doubt, smile to get your point across. Number 3, it undermines accountability. When you react emotionally to misbehavior, you undermine true accountability, because it causes students to blame you. It also directs their simmering anger at you, and it can justify their misbehavior in the first place. In other words, it replaces healthy reflection with excuses. I've got to tell you, replace the word students with kids, and it couldn't be more true. There's nothing worse than excuses for me personally. I don't think it allows us to grow as people, it doesn't allow us to heal, and it doesn't allow us to hold ourselves accountable. Excuses get in the way of all those things. Number 4 is a big one for me because it worsens behavior. Yelling, scolding, and the like can result in immediate improvement. But alas, it's going to be only temporary. In the long run, behavior will always worsen, especially the sneaky behind your back variety, due to friction and animosity between you and your students. This is where the understanding comes in. You want your child's behavior to get better by them understanding why they are in trouble. This understanding is what encourages growth in people and helps everyone become better. Number 5, it leads to parent complaints. Yelling at students is among the most common complaints from parents, and it's difficult to defend. The best you can offer is an apology and promise not to let it happen again. Still, it might cement your reputation as a mean teacher. This is an awesome point by Mr. Liston. Now apply this to your own children. You blow it with them. You know better. You messed up. You lost your cool. This is a perfect statement for your child to hear from you. No excuses tagged on the end, no buts. Just straight up, hey Henry, I'm really sorry I lost my cool with you and that I yelled. That's not how I want to talk to you or communicate, so I'm sorry that happened. Imagine the effect this can have on your child. It gives me goosebumps to think about just how influential and what kind of impact we can make on our kids. Number 6 is also a good one. It ruins trust. Trust is built over time. It's built through consistency. It's built by doing what you say you will do. When you forego the classroom management plan in favor of a fiery lecture or a finger-wagging dress down, you're going back on your word. Your kids need to believe deep down inside that you are there for them and there to guide them. How would you like to be guided or taught sometimes by the switch or by the hand? We really impact our children and how they approach the world. Teach them to be loving guides and not talk down to them. Number 7, it announces your lack of effectiveness. Teachers grow frustrated and lose their cool when they don't know another way. When you bark at your students, you're announcing to them, your principal, other teachers, everyone else within earshot that you don't have effective classroom management. When you lose it with your kids, it really is saying just that. I've lost all semblance of reality, and I don't know what to do besides let it out on you. We all have our moments. I say I lose it from time to time. But we need to show and teach kids that we have other tools in our toolbox. Tell them you're walking away and you'll talk to them at another time. Something that looks like you are in control, even though inside you might be boiling. We're at number 8. It fills your classroom with tension. Teachers who let misbehavior get under their skin create an environment that teems with unhealthy energy. You can feel it in the moment you enter a room that's like that. The students are distracted and unhappy, they're excitable and restless, and learning is far from their minds. This tension in a household can be just as tough. I remember being screamed at about something, not having homework done, not having picked up my room, etc., and then having to sit down and have a nice dinner with my mom's home. I almost couldn't eat because I was sick to my stomach due to the tension and the anxiety. I'm not sure for 1 minute I was thinking about what I had learned from the situation, other than I couldn't wait to get out of the situation at dinner and go back to my room where I knew it was quiet and there would be no tension. Though I couldn't put it into words back then, that's how I was feeling. Number 9 goes back to the modeling idea. Losing your cool teaches students to do the same thing. Every time you lose your cool, you provide a model and your permission for your students to do the exact same thing. It trains them to lose their composure when things don't go their way, and it also teaches them to give in, buckle under, and fall apart when faced with challenges. This is a bit of a repeat, but it really holds true that what your kids see you do, they'll do as well. I have students who can't stand next to others because they pinch people because they're not listening to them or they're not doing what they ask them to. This is what they see and know from their family. Think of how many stories you've heard or experienced because you swore at a bad driver who cut you off. Next thing you know, your 3-year-old in the back of the car is swearing as well. This happened with my son when he was little. They're sponges and they pick up so much more than we know or give them credit for. So I changed my attitude pretty quick. Forrest is now 20, but I still have that hey moment as a parent in my head when he swears around me, even though he's an adult. Number 10, it destroys your fulfillment. Letting anger get the best of you robs you of the deeper joys of being a teacher. It creates a you against them form of classroom management that removes the love, the laughter, and the eyeball-to-eyeball connections that make teaching more than just a profession. Again, we can apply this at home and just replace parent with teacher, and it makes total sense. Being a parent is one of the greatest experiences a human being can have, so it really should be one of joy. Yelling or losing it tears at the fabric of any relationship. Communicating is where behavior comes from. How are you going to communicate to make sure you have the best behaviors possible? It's all about your approach. I like number 11 because it addresses you as a teacher and as a parent. Losing your cool burdens you with stress. Yelling and scolding is incredibly stressful, and not just in the moment. At home, at the dinner table, getting out of bed in the morning, driving to work, it all stays with you. It whispers in your ear that you've become the teacher you never wanted to be, or the parent you see at the grocery store berating their children because they asked for cereal. There's a different way to accomplish what we want and still get our points across. I wanted to say, approach everything involving your kids with thoughtfulness. It's tough sometimes to see past how they act, but if you can focus on the positive things they do, the tougher behaviors will become a lot easier to manage. I'd love comments, feedback, or any other constructive criticism. This was left out of my first podcast. If you have any of those questions, please let me know at Symon, S-Y-M-O-N, at tpspproductions.com. It's here at the bottom of your screen. Remember, to be honest, to be new, and to be passionate. Life's too short to do anything else. I'm Symon Sanborn. I'll see you next time on the Count to 10 podcast.